Hey everybody, Tony Bears here again, and there's some recent things happening with some superhero movies coming out this summer that I wanted to talk about. Two movies in particular, The Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises. And a lot of this that I'm going to be talking about is old news, but I wanted to get my opinion out there anyways, so here it is. Now my opinion on what I've been seeing from these two movies is pretty much the opposite. Everything that I've been seeing from The Avengers has been awesome. I've loved everything that I've been seeing and hearing about the Avengers. And everything from the Dark Knight I have not been liking. Everything that I see and hear has been bad. Let me first talk about the Avengers movie, and most recently I've just seen the Avengers trailer, which I have to say it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. It looks great. I mean, I don't know what other word I could use to describe it. It's got me really excited to see the movie. The trailer is action-packed. You get to see every character in the trailer. It looks really great. The only small complaint that I have is that Tony Stark Iron Man seems a bit of a smartass in this trailer. Which, you know, I guess that's just his character. I don't know, he just seems unlikable. The only other thing I don't like about the trailer is that they don't really show who the Avengers are fighting. I mean, we do see Loki, which, you know, it can't just be Loki. It has to be more than just him. So I've heard rumors that it is the Skrulls, so that would be cool to see. Perhaps they want to save that for the movie, which I'm always for trailers not showing you everything. I don't want to see everything in a trailer, you know. I gotta wait for something. You gotta be surprised. I mean, you don't want to go knowing everything that's gonna happen in a movie. So for a trailer, it really succeeded. It's done its job. I'm excited. It looks cool. I'm happy with what I've seen so far. Let's take a look at some pictures now. Here's a picture of Captain America in costume on set, and it looks pretty good. I really liked his new costume. I like the old costume as well, but this costume looks more super heroic. You know, the last costume was more military. This is more like a superhero, and I really like it. I think it looks great. Now here's a picture of Captain America fighting some guy, and the guy is wearing a CGI suit, and he's got this futuristic looking or alien looking weapon, which adds to the rumors that they're probably fighting Skrulls. The people who know what Skrulls look like know that they're, you know, green, weird-looking aliens who are shapeshifters, so CGI is probably the best way to go. Here's a picture of Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow with explosion behind her, looking very, very sexy. I really love this picture. Here's a picture of Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and he's shooting a gun here, and finally we get to see Nick Fury actually do something in the movie instead of just talking. Here's a picture of Loki, and he's being taken away by S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Looks cool, and I'm happy to see that the main villain is Loki, because he was the big main villain in, I think, the very first issue of the Avengers. Here's a picture of Thor and Captain America. It looks like after a battle, and they're looking at something in the sky. So, you know, who knows what they're looking at? Perhaps a Skrull ship's Iron Man flying by. You know, who knows what it could be. And as we can see, Thor is in his, what seems to be the same costume from the Thor movie, and as we know from the trailer, he does change that to the sleeveless and I think capeless version, which it's cool. It reminds me of, you know, the Ultimate Universe Thor. I miss the cape, though. I think cape, you know, really says superhero to me, and also looks cool when he's flying. Okay, now let's move on to The Dark Knight Rises. Like I said before, everything that I've seen from Dark Knight Rises I'm very disappointed about. First, let's take a look at this picture of Bane. I don't like it. I don't like the costume at all. The mask. I really hate the mask. But what I'm mostly disappointed about Bane is his size. He is actually nowhere near the size that Bane is in the comics. Bane is supposed to be like this hulking giant. Someone close to size of, say, someone like, you know, Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you look at this picture right here of Batman standing next to Bane. Batman is even taller than Bane, and that's just ridiculous to me. They couldn't even find someone tall to be Bane, you know. Some people might look at this picture and say, well, Batman just looks tall just because he's got the ears. Look at the picture again. Even without the ears, Batman is taller than Bane. Now, this is just ridiculous to me. He's supposed to be a very intimidating villain, and he just does not look intimidating at all. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this video has been leaked in which you can hear Bane's voice. A lot of people say he sounds like an old British man, which he does. And some people have said, well, they'll probably dub his voice over anyway, which apparently he'll have the same voice, though. And the reason they're probably gonna dub the voiceover anyway is because, you know, with that mask on, he's gonna sound muffled, so they'll dub his voiceover no matter what. Which got me thinking, with this mask, you can't see Bane's mouth move. If you're not gonna see his mouth move, then why not just hire a really built guy to be the physical form of Bane and then just have some other actor do his voice? That would be the most logical way to do it, in my opinion. That's why I was upset when I heard that they cast Tom Hardy, because I thought to myself that Tom Hardy isn't big enough to be Bane. Well, some people will say, well, he's a great actor, and I thought to myself, well, okay, they chose him because he's a good actor, I'll go along with that. But if they chose him for his acting skills, again, why didn't they just get some other actor to be his physical body and then just have Tom Hardy double over his voice, especially if you can't see his mouth? Why don't they do a Darth Vader, you know, do it exactly like they did Darth Vader, where they had David Prowse be the physical Darth Vader and then James Earl Jones do the voice. You know, why can't they just do that here with Bane? So move on to Catwoman. Now, here's the first picture that was released of Catwoman in her costume on the Batpod. Yeah, I don't like this costume. It's very plain to me. I like it more than Bane's costume, but not very much. There's nothing about it that says cat to me. It's similar to the current one in the comics right now, but not enough in my opinion. For example, the goggles. The two blue lights on her goggles seems very unnecessary. They look dumb to me. I don't see the purpose, you know, other than to light her way. You know, a lot of people have said that, you know, Christopher Nolan has brought this Batman universe of his is very realistic. He's brought it into the real world, which I agree. But with these goggles, that doesn't really apply. The reason I say this is because of those two blue lights. Now, Catwoman is a cat burglar, and that's the thing about cat burglars is they steal stuff at night, and when you're stealing stuff at night, you don't want to be seen, and the best way to do that is to cover yourself head to toe in black so as to not be seen, which the majority of this costume is, except for those goggles and that blue lights. Those blue lights, if anybody saw her, would immediately draw their attention to those blue lights, where they would see that immediately. Cops would stop her immediately because of those blue lights. You know, it just doesn't make sense to have those on there. And number two, the exposed head and the ponytail hanging out, okay? The reason I don't like this is, well, number one, and that's not the way it is in the comics. She does have a cowl covering her head. And number two is the same reason, for example, that they gave in the animated Pixar movie, The Incredibles, which superhero fashion designer woman said no cape. What reasons did she give for no capes? Is because they can get caught and stuff, they get tripped up and stuff like that, and that's why I don't like her ponytail, as her hair could easily be caught in something, and she's got really long hair, so it doesn't make sense to me. And two, again, back to the comics, she has short hair in the comic, which is not a big deal, but like I said, it doesn't make any sense because the hair would get in her way. Now, a lot of people have complained that she doesn't have the cat ears, and that's the first thing that occurred in my mind to say you can easily get rid of, you know, is the cat ears, because they don't make any sense to actually have cat ears, because they serve no purpose except to look like a cat. You know, I don't mind the cat ears not being there, and in fact I prefer it. Like I said, the big thing is the cowl, and like I said before, nothing in her costume says cat, and that's something they could easily change with the goggles. Make the goggles look like cat eyes. Have the goggles kind of slanted, kind of pointed upwards. I think that would make a huge difference and to help make her look like a cat. Now, I've heard Anne Hathaway defend this costume by saying, well, you don't know what the outfit can do, and which is an odd statement, because I thought to myself, I don't care what it can do, you know. You know, what can a costume do, you know? I just thought that was strange. You know, I care what it looks like. You know, what can the costume do? Can, you know, the costume go out and get a job? You know, what can it do? That's why I thought that statement was so odd. Now, here's another picture of Catwoman on the set, and this is what I assumed Anne Hathaway meant by what it can do. What she has done here is she has lifted the goggles up and put it on her head, and in that way, those blue lights, which I hate so much, look like cat ears, which, again, like I said, cat ears was the first thing I thought could go in the costume and still be Catwoman, which just is just silly. So does that mean every time that she does wear the goggles that she doesn't look like Catwoman, then why put them up like that? I don't know, this doesn't make any sense. Another thing is, she's got a mask underneath, so she's got a mask underneath her mask, which is just silly to me. If she's just gonna put the goggles on her head, why have the goggles in the first place, you know? And why have a second mask? Why not just leave the goggles on? What's the point of taking them off? Why would she need to lift them up? I don't know, maybe they explain this in the movie somehow, but it doesn't make any sense to me. And also, if you can see in these pictures, she is wearing high heels. Now, again, if Christopher Nolan wants to be realistic, she's not gonna wear high heels. You know, she doesn't even wear high heels in the comics. Yeah, in the earlier comics, but her most recent costume, she doesn't wear the high heels. Why she has them here, I have no idea. Again, maybe it's explained in the movie, maybe she uses them for, I don't know, climbing or fighting, or maybe there are knives in there. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But again, it looks silly to me. It doesn't add anything to making the costume more cat-like. And lastly, here is a picture of the bat wing, I believe it's going to be called in the movie. I don't like it either. It looks very ugly to me. It reminds me very much of the Transformers, the way they just look like a pile of garbage to me, and that's what this looks like, is people just slapped a bunch of pieces of flat metal together, and there you go. Which is not surprising to me, because I never liked the look of Christopher Nolan's Batmobile. I thought it was just as ugly. That's pretty much what this looks like, as it looks like the Batmobile that flies. One good thing that I can say about these Bat vehicles is they have consistency to them. They consistently look bad. It looks the same as the Batmobile, so that's one good thing. It doesn't look drastically different. I will say this, though, I do like the look of the Bat pod. So yeah, that's what I think about the Bat wing. I don't like it either. It looks ugly, but that's it. So that's enough from me. I rambled on long enough about these two movies. So to sum up, Avengers looks awesome, and Dark Knight Rises, everything I see from it, I'm not liking. Well, who knows, when these movies come out, I might have the exact opposite opinion. I might love Dark Knight Rises and hate the Avengers. I'm hoping I love both of them, because I really want to see both these movies, and I hope they're fantastic, both of them. And I believe that this summer coming up, summer 2012, will be a fight between these two movies. I think they'll be the two highest grossing blockbusters of the summer. I'm mostly excited to see the Avengers. I think the Avengers are going to kick butt at the box office, and I hope Dark Knight Rises kicks butt too. That's my opinion on these photos that I've seen so far. I'm Tony Beers, and I'll see you next time.